Hey, we're alive. We did it. I pushed the right buttons.
What a deal. You kind of almost know what we're doing now.
You'd think. Sometimes I don't push the buttons in the right order, but I usually am a button-pushing kind of guy. Why are you taking pictures?
Because it's kind of entertaining to see it. It's a whole different layout. Well, not different. I just here, I'll show you. I'll show you why I took the picture, because I'm just dorky that way, and now everybody on the interwebs wants to know too. When I podcast with you gents from home, I have a little yellow bug in the corner that says live. Here on my portable podcast device, which is my cell phone, it puts a yellow live stripe right across your forehead.
It's a big sweatband I'm wearing.
Yeah, so
very nice, Olivia Newton-John.
I found that humorous enough to take a photo of it. So
Let's get physical. Physical. Oh.
I sat here and got all of my portable gear set up in the garage, and I thought, oh, I should take a picture of this. And I reached for my phone, which is kind of silly because it's part of the podcast rig.
Yes, we've all done that. Well, something like that.
Something.
Hey, gentlemen. Let's see. Mr. End. You are kicking us off tonight.
Yes, sir, Mr. Cop.
Kicking it right in the end. So I'm going to start the music. I'm going to push the little record button and do it in the other order. And then off we go.
Oh, hey, welcome to Caching in the Northwest, the only podcast dedicated to geocaching in the great Pacific Northwest. We will talk about caches and caches unique to this little corner of the country. So, put away your flip-flops, grab a seat beside the fire. It's time to go caching in the Northwest, and tonight I'm coming to you from Kootenai County, which is still in the Northwest, in my portable podcast mode. So, little road trip couldn't keep me away from you.
Oh, that's so nice. It seems like Hootenanny County from where you might be.
Kootenai County.
Nice. So, tonight, we're going to discuss the best caching adventures from summer 2014. And for that, of course, we're once again bringing in our well-traveled, tanned, and time-tested brother from another border. Some say he only works in nautical miles, and he has, only just this week, found the power button on his GPS. All we know is he's called Land Monkey.
Welcome, welcome, and thank you to everyone who sent in their stories for today's episode. This show is all about your caching adventures in the Northwest, and we're excited to get to them. But before we do, we want to remind you that we held a contest for this show.
You know, of course we did, Land Monkey, because, you know, we like you people. And we asked you to send in your best caching stories from the summer of 2014. That's just a few months ago. And
I remember like it was yesterday.
It almost was. It was at least like last week.
Yeah.
And from that group of entries, we would randomly select a winner for a travel bug from geocaching.com. So the winner for tonight's prize, ready? I need a drum roll. Wow. It's actually done well. That was much more than I expected.
Hey, we exceed your expectations.
Thank you. Time and again. The winner for tonight's show, should we just wait till the end of the episode and not tell anybody?
Ooh, even better. Let's do that.
Yeah, we can do that.
No.
Winner for tonight is a mystery.
Yeah. Is 3 hams and a rose.
Hey!
Yay! Yay! So, 3 hams and a rose. Send me an email. At feedback@cachingNW.com with your physical mailing address, and I will physically mail you a physical travel bug. If you just don't, I will send you a picture of one and hope for the best.
A physical picture.
Oh, no, an electronic picture.
Okay.
All right. Well, thanks very much to everyone who submitted your stories. And remember, there are still more chances coming up on Caching in the Northwest to win great prizes. Next contest that we are going to have, we want you to send us your scariest caching story ever.
In your scariest voice.
Yes. And however you define scary, that's fine by us. We're not going to judge. Well, we might. But
have you
not
met
on the
me?
air anyway.
Oh, dear. So send those entries in by email or by phone by October 20. Oh, I've got 20X on my script. What date do we want to set? 28th, 29th, 28th?
Hold on, I have to look. I like the 29th. We could go to the 29th. We'll be generous.
All right. So send those entries in by email or by phone by October 29th to be automagically entered for another prize drawing to be announced on our October 30th show. You see, there's a theme.
Another way? Oh, I like
October
themes.
10th. That's awesome.
Scariest caching story.
What's the theme?
The theme is ends of the month, because that is a very scary time. Because you're starting a whole new month.
Have you worked with accountants? End of the month is not a good time. I'm just saying.
That's right. That's right. I typically run out of money before I run out of month, so
Exactly.
it's not such a good thing. So, hey, Bad Cop,
Yeah.
what would that phone number be for people to call in by October 29th?
The best way to call in is to call 253-693-TFTC. You know, you can do it right now. We'll wait.
Go ahead. Oh, I can't. I'm using my phone for this hangout.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead and just pause it. We'll,
Okay.
And so while you're talking to our very own operators, that's actually Land Monkey, we do have some caching adventures to share with our listeners. So Land Monkey, since you're our operator for tonight, aren't you manning the phones? Okay.
One ringy dingy. All right, so since I'm the operator, I'll keep things moving.
Okay.
So the first piece of feedback we had was from listener Brylang. And, sorry, I always do that. Brylang. I always mispronounce his name because I just want to... No, it is Brylang. Never mind.
Yeah.
Don't listen to me.
Whatever you do,
do not listen to
me. You know what? Okay, never mind. Who are you?
Yes. So, Brylang writes...
Welcome to Caching in the Northwest, the only...
the only show where the hosts have no idea what they're doing.
It's one big do-over. We'll just start it again. Nobody will notice.
I've listened to other shows where the hosts have no idea.
All right. So Brylang writes, "Hello, Caching in the Northwest." That's us.
Hey, we got that part right.
All right. Tuesday, October 7th was the 600th day of his geocaching streak.
Wow.
I was going to celebrate with a single find, a night cache on my way home from work. Suddenly, a new geocache was published mere blocks from work. So I jumped in my geomobile and raced to ground zero. Unfortunately, I was beaten to the punch because I didn't see the email soon enough. That happens.
Yeah.
Anyways, I continued with my plan to wrap up my streak with the night cache, and I recorded a couple of pieces of audio for you. Ooh, audio, we like that.
And
we love audio.
Emailed those. So you could record audio on your smartphone, email it to feedback@cachingnw.com, and it's going to sound something like this.
Hello, geocachers. Brylang here. I'm just about to head off into the woods on my 600th consecutive day of geocaching to see if I can find a night cache. I'll check in a few minutes to let you know how it's going on.
See? It sounds just like that, except it might be your voice and not Brylang's.
It's like he's really on the show.
Yeah, that's cool.
Daryl W4 says he doesn't recognize the IP address of 253.69.3.tftc.
Yeah.
And if you're a geek...
It's V6 IP, that's why.
Oh,
that's why.
Yeah. Man, I can't memorize those things. So, 600 consecutive geocache finds.
That's a lot of geocache finds.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's like almost 2 years.
It's a lot of that's a lot of days in a row. It's getting up there. It's very close to 2 years. If you don't plan it well, that's 2 winters.
Yeah. If you plan it well, that's only like 1.5. Well, it's Canada.
Okay.
That's like
I hadn't
3
quite
winters.
thought about that, but that's true. Yeah, Canada has 2 winters a year, don't they? They do everything different up there.
Yeah, well, I mean, you cross the 49th parallel and it's just winter, period.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're it's summer that they don't have.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's Australia. It's always summer.
Is it always winter and never Christmas? Or is that someplace else?
No, it's always Christmas every day in Canada.
Oh, okay, cool.
You should come and visit
So-
sometime.
So that's
But bring
600.
gifts.
That's 600 days in a row that he found at least one cache, right? So it could have consisted of more than 600 finds.
Absolutely.
Oh, definitely.
Wow.
Sure it did.
Right.
Would not be surprised. That's very, very impressive.
That is. That's really being passionate about getting out there and keeping that streak going.
Yeah.
So congrats.
Congrats. So he's got more. He calls back. Hold on.
Ooh.
Let me transfer you.
So I've been hiking through the woods for half an hour now, following a series of fire tacks. And I finally reached a section where there was no more tacks. I was like, oh, did I lose my way? So I kept going anyway, and eventually I found the marker for the final. And it's absolutely amazing. This final location is so well done. I'm not going to say any more because I'm not going to ruin the geocacher owner's cache for him. But I would recommend this night cache to anybody. I think I'm going to give it a favorite point when I get home to log it. So yeah, that's the end of my 600-day geocaching streak. I've had a great time, but I'm just run out of caches that are close to my regular commute routes.
Fantastic.
As Land Monkey says, cache safely and cache often.
There you go.
Oh, great.
Even better.
Very good.
Awesome.
What that tells me is, he's done 600 caches in 600 consecutive days. It's time to get a new job.
It may be.
Yeah.
Town.
Yeah, he needs a different commute. That's true.
Yeah, exactly. And that would solve all his problems.
Absolutely.
So, but the one thing we don't know is what cache that was he found. So
Yes.
I know he's listening.
He did a very good job of not spoiling the cache. So even if we say which cache it is,
Oh.
it still isn't spoiled.
I think we
Sure.
should start spoiling caches and tell it, hey, here's what happened. But can you imagine wandering around in the woods for half an hour following fire attacks? That's a pretty long trail.
There's a couple fairly long night caches in the woods around here. Obviously, this is one of the ones that he did. There we go. We've just had the answer pop up. The cache was Fireflies: A Night Experience,
Nice.
GC 3M Y4P, and that is an awesome night cache. I would highly recommend that for anybody.
Would you give it a favorite point?
I did give it a favorite point.
Oh, well, there you go.
Very nice. Well, when I make the pilgrimage up to the Great White North, we may have to spend an evening and do that one because I've had some great memories doing night caches with fire attacks, but it's been many years since I've done one. So I'd love to do another one.
Awesome.
Did they have flashlights when you started caching?
Well,
Torches?
primitive ones, yeah.
Torches.
Yes,
Okay.
they were torches. Yeah, they're torches in Canada, aren't they?
So British flashlights.
Yes.
Well, we have more feedback of great Northwest caches. So let me read from, our winner. And if we're going to read one, we may as well read from our winner. Three Hams in a Row, who's won our travel bug, by the way.
Nice.
Leaving feedback for your upcoming October 9th show, which is no longer upcoming. It's actually now.
It's here.
Woohoo!
Yeah. One of my funnest caching adventures in summer 14 was to go on a camping trip in the sand dunes at Jesse Honeyman State Park near Florence, Oregon. It's on the shores of Klewax Lake. That sounds like I had a little speech impediment. Klewax. And the local cachers have sprinkled caches all around the lake and sand dunes. I rented a kayak for 2 hours and managed to get 12 of the lakeside caches. That's actually quite an accomplishment.
Yeah.
That's 6 caches an hour.
Good
Most
paddling.
of which are hanging on tree limbs far out over the water. I did have to get out and swim for one of them, though. Always good to have your iPhone in a waterproof carry case. I hope that's his advice and not his experience.
Yeah, I hope it's not retroactive finding that out.
Yeah. This was a great and easy way to get a lot of T5 caches. I also got 8 caches that have been placed in the dunes. I felt like Lawrence of Arabia, trekking out in the burning hot sand, climbing up the steep dunes and sliding down the backsides. On the drive home to Vancouver, BC, we, of course, stopped near Portland for the original Stash tribute plaque and dutifully placed my GPSR on the plaque to receive the blessing of the extended battery life and enhanced satellite reception.
Got to do it.
You have to. That's if you don't put it on there, you're not going to know how to use that GPS.
Yeah.
It's not going to work for you.
And probably not find the power button.
Well, you know, that you got great battery life up to this point.
All right. So our next piece of
Very
feedback.
Cool.
That was
I
very
just have
cool.
a comment real quick before you move on. If you're not familiar with Florence, Oregon, they have a unique way of dealing with beached whales. Just go search YouTube. You'll learn all about it.
Is that where that was?
Huh?
That was in Florence, Oregon, yes.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. I still think that was an urban myth.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Looked pretty real on the video.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Now,
All right.
the reporting from that, it's classic.
Yeah.
I wish I could be blessed with verbiage such as that, but that is not
Yes.
I.
Yes, the blasted blubber beyond all believable bounds.
Oh dear. All right.
Okay,
So
moving on.
moving on. Next piece of feedback we got was from Dune Buddy. So kind of a nice segue there from the sand dunes to Dune Buddy.
All right.
Dune Buddy writes, my summer 2014 Northwest caching highlight began in the northwest section of Charlottesville, Virginia. All right. Well, you know what? We'll take it.
That's right.
Northwest is Northwest.
Northwest is Northwest. And hey, thank you, Dune Buddy, for listening all the way
Absolutely.
over in Virginia. So he writes, in the northwest section of Charlottesville, Virginia, when I found BLT tomato, GC3Z3QM. I continued on through northwestern Virginia and crossed the border into West Virginia, which lies to the northwest of Virginia. All right. I think he's trying to make a point. Fair enough.
Easy end in my book.
There you go. At the first rest stop, I found 3 caches, including one of WV Tim's famous caches, GBC10, Rescue Fluffy, which is GC4XF4H, which was the northwesternmost cache of 3. So just a brief interruption there. If anybody hasn't seen WV Tim's caches, you got to check out his YouTube channel. He makes some very cool caches. Usually they're pretty much on a theme, but it's amazing how creative he gets with them.
He really does. We've talked to him on Geo Gearheads, and it's really good. Some of the ones he has, and who doesn't want to rescue Fluffy?
Yeah.
All right. So continuing on, I crossed the border to Maryland and grabbed Cache Across America, Maryland, which is GCXM3E. That was his 14th in the series. It was located on the northwestern side of a lake. Very good. Finally, I reached my destination, Washington, D.C., checked into my hotel, and walked to a restaurant to meet some friends for dinner. On the way, I grabbed D.C. Reflection, GC4TZJ8 in Northwest D.C., District of Columbia.
Love it.
4 states in one day. Great day of geocaching. Now, hold on. Is he counting D.C. as a state?
Is it not in official geocaching parlance in a different area? I don't know.
Yeah.
So, it's a different area, but it's not.
Right.
It's a different area. It's,
He's got 4 distinct districts.
the people that work there are in a state of confusion, so that's a state. We'll let it go. I mean, we're stretching the rules to bring him in the Northwest, although I think he mentioned Northwest in his description more times than anybody ever has in a description. So I got to give him bonus points for that. That's awesome.
Exactly. Absolutely. So Dune Buddy, we tease, but thank you very much for your contribution. That was that sounds like a really great day.
Getting 4 states in a day is hard to do in and of itself. So
Yeah, well,
that's really cool.
it's easier back east, though.
Yeah.
The states are a little smaller back there.
It's not the size of the state that matters. It's the number you get in a day. That's what
All
I'm
right,
trying to say.
I'm just going to leave that one lying right there on the broadcast table and move on to our next bit of feedback from Hop Maniac. This is from a log on the Tunnel of Fun cache. And I just have got to go down and do the Tunnel of Fun because I need a Tunnel of Fun in my life. The log says, Thursday morning we took the plane from the Netherlands. Now, I don't know if that's Northwest or not, but that's a long trip from the Netherlands to San Francisco.
It's kind of the Northwest of Europe.
Yeah, kind of. So we're on a theme here. It says, in the afternoon, we rented a little car for some caching and sightseeing at the Golden Gate area. Some hours later, we took the plane to Salt Lake City, where we picked up our quote-unquote badass rental car for the rest of our trip and off to Mount Pleasant. Now, I'm not sure if that's a category from the rental car company or if you have to pay extra for that or how it all works, but that was their description.
Nice.
So Friday, they said they got to Potter's Pond. We thought we found the right trail, but now we have to jump over the creek. We managed to get near Ground Zero, and we found the cache after some exploration of the area. Yahoo, our first Y2K cache for this week. We hope to get some more. And he says our next aim is getting to Yellowstone Park, where I have traveled and done some caching. Monday, he says, last night we entered Portland in search of a camp place, but when the GPS gone mad in the hills, we didn't find any. Don't you love it when the GPS goes mad?
Yes.
We ended up at a closed gate. Closed, no camping. So while we're checking our devices for another place, a ranger came to the gate and asked what we were doing here. That's never happened in geocaching to me. I've been stopped by city police, but never a ranger. That's a whole other story. After our story, he offered to stay at the park. Let us stay. Great. The most perfect place of our trip. After a real good sleep, we made some breakfast and found the cache, and then we're off to GC12. Now, if you're wondering about GC12, the name of the cache, GC12, and the GC code for the cache is GC12.
They were really stretched on that one.
That one has been around a while, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it has. So you can tell in this trip he's looking for early 2000 caches.
Yeah.
Caches that were placed in May, June, July of 2000.
Yeah. So he got the Y2K one earlier, and now they're off to GC12. On our way up to the destination for the trip, GC12. Everyone has figured out the old caches and the paths that lead to them. Very well done. It was almost like a walk in the very nice park. And finally, my Jasmer challenge is complete.
Yay!
So, came back to the car, rested a little bit, and drove to the starting point for GC17. Huffing, puffing, and wet all over, we reached the view. Apparently, it was quite breathtaking because he says, when I got my breath back, we first took some pictures, and then I got the cache out of its hiding place. We took our time here, and absolutely, you must. If geocaching takes you to a breathtaking view, and it has for me, and that's one of the reasons I enjoy it so much, take your time and enjoy that view while you're there. He says after that, going back down was easy. Then they moved on to historic ground, the original stash cache. Here, the roots of the hobby started, and they did a little photo shoot at Ground Zero.
They probably put the GPS on the plaque to get that.
I was going to say, he doesn't mention it, but I'm sure he did, because you have to. In fact, the plaque almost sucks the GPS right out of your hand as you approach. So he also said he was being sneaky up there too. There's a cache named 1 in 50. Yeah, he says for 1 in 50. While Edward was searching, he says I've already found it. So this guy sounds like somebody go fund to geocaching with. Let you do all the work after he found the cache.
Yes, we remember finding that one.
We do. It was fun.
We spent too much time at 1 in 50.
Now we enter the ground of GC16. I had no idea there were so many of these early caches still around.
Mm-hmm. With
the nose of Geonaughton, we almost stumble upon the cache. Nice big one. Photo shoot. I sense a theme here too. On our way back, we take the trail, but on our way down, some rain came down. Back at the car, we called it a day and go looking for a motel. Now we're on a Thursday. This is a multi-day, multi-country trip. This is kind of exciting. After a real good sleep and shower, we plan to have a resting day. So, a little drive to Humber Ridge. What views? Nice old caching, including some old listings and stuff. He doesn't list GSC codes, but I'm sure it was awesome. We took some pictures, enjoyed the views, and went back down to the car. And next stop, Oregon's Pacific Coast, where, as we mentioned, they clear beached whales in a unique way. At least once upon a time they did.
They don't anymore, I don't believe.
No, I think they learned a lesson from that.
Mm-hmm.
Once was enough. They went to the Tunnel of Fun. And fun we had. I played at Safeguard while Edwin entered. This is a great place, amazing place, and it's on my list of places I need to go. So, Hop Maniac and Geonautans say greetings from the Netherlands and list some of their favorite caches from summer 2014 in the Pacific Northwest.
You know, I found that because I have a watch list. On my watch list is Tunnel of Fun, and it's one I need to go to. You know, it's a tunnel underneath the roadway. You have to climb up over the edge on a cliff using a cable that's there. It's supposed to be a lot of fun. So we got to go do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Now,
let's go now.
Okay, bye. No. Now, in the feedback,
I'm back.
In our questions in it. Wow, that was quick. Let me get to the Q&A. Daryl W4 is listening, and he says his most memorable cache was Geo Woodstock. In fact, there was an earth cache in Indiana on the way home. It's an artesian well a little off the side road with water cold enough to freeze the hands on a warm spring day. And I was with him on this particular cache. And that artesian well, we tried to drink it. It was very sulfur-y. Is that a word? Is that a description?
It is now.
Sulfurous. There you go. And no, I'm going to go back with sulfur-y.
Okay.
No, it was so you could drink it. It wasn't bad. It was very cold. I was shocked how cold this water was coming up out of the ground. So
that's very cool.
Thank you, Daryl, for that feedback.
Yes, thanks, Daryl. Artesian wells make good earth caches. They're a lot of fun.
They do. We had to measure the flow rate.
That's not uncommon.
Guess what was nearby. Just guess.
32 water bottles.
No, not at all. Almost a 5-gallon bucket.
Oh.
There you go.
I was hoping for maybe the artesian bikini team or something, but no.
Wow, not in that cold water.
Okay. Well, if there's anybody that knows about earth caches, it's our own Land Monkey.
Yes, he
and
is.
If you'd like to know more about earth caches, go back and listen to last week's show. We talked all about them. Or was it the week before? They all blur together to me. But it was recent.
I believe it was last week.
It was last week, yes.
That was another state I was in, so.
Wow, but you're still in the Northwest.
I am still in the Northwest.
Yeah. And we want to thank all of our amazing listeners for sending us their stories on their geocaching in the Northwest summer adventures. Whether that Northwest is in the Northwest or the Northwest of something else.
Yes, and on that note, Daryl W4 also made a comment earlier asking if he can be on the show if he caches in the Northwest of Michigan. And I say, okay.
Yeah, why not? It's the Northwest.
He let me on his show. He can't be that bad.
Let's see. Northwest of Michigan, is that...
for punishment.
So Northwest of Michigan, is that Wisconsin, or is that... I got my geography mixed up.
No, you'd have that right.
Okay.
But you could go to the northwest corner of Michigan. Well,
That's
it's like
true.
a glove. It's kind of rounded.
Oh, yeah, everybody from Michigan goes, well, you see this? I'm right here.
And you know how well that works on an audio podcast?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well,
hey, I've got a face for an audio podcast.
There you go. Face made for radio.
That's right.
Now, before we close tonight, we would like to remind you all that, speaking of Earth caches, International Earth Cache Day is coming up this weekend, the 12th of October. And for the very first time ever, a special souvenir will be awarded by geocaching.com to anyone who logs a Found It for an Earth cache on International Earth Cache Day. But remember, send your emailed answers to the Earth cache owner first before you log your Found It, or you're committing a faux pas.
Ooh. But what if you don't log it on the 12th? Will you still get your souvenir?
As long as you log it for the 12th, I bet you will.
Yeah, I bet they'll give you some grace there. Now, next week, we're going to talk about the, I still want to say IEEE, the IEE Earth Caching event.
Yeah. You geek.
Yeah, sorry. This is the third international Earth Caching event. Our very own roving reporter, Land Monkey, is going to go because, well, it's in his backyard, basically, in Duncan, British Columbia. He's going to get some field reports for us there. So
Very
October 23rd's episode is all about path tags. And October 30th, we want to hear about your scariest caching stories. Whether you were scared at a cache, whether the cache itself was scary, or, some of these people that you're hanging around with are pretty scary.
That's right.
You determine what's scary.
Have you been on our podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember to check.
Scary.
You guys are not going to let me get through this, are you?
Nope.
Remember to
That's our
check the
goal.
upcoming shows in the link on our site. You just go click there and you can see what upcoming shows there are. See, if I talk fast enough, I can still talk over you.
Hey, and once again, thanks to our winner tonight, 3 Hams in a Rose, who also was the person who suggested that we put that upcoming show's link.
There you
Thank
go.
you. 3 Hams in a row.
How awesome is that?
Yes.
So, is Duncan, British Columbia, where they make Duncan yo-yos?
Donuts.
Yeah. Sure.
Uh-oh.
Is too tired to argue with me anymore? Like, whatever.
We've broken the Land Monkey.
All right. So with that, we want to thank you for taking the time to listen to this episode of Caching in the Northwest. Make sure that you are a part of the show, especially for our October 30th episode. Call 253-693-TFTC and leave us a comment, correction, or question, or scary caching story any time of the day or night, but preferably at night if it's a scary caching story.
Yeah.
Of course. You can email us at feedback@cachingnw.com and attach audio files, because we've seen it done. Visit cachingnw.com for the show notes on this show and more about any other Caching in the Northwest episodes. Also, your support helps us to keep quality shows coming. So if you like this show, please click the PayPal button on the website. The show is licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 license, copyright 2014 by Chris Umfenauer.
Good night, everyone.
Night, everybody.
And
So, did we really see audio feedback emailed in, or did we hear it?
well, I saw it. It was a file.
Okay.
I looked
Bad
at it.
cop saw it.
Daryl says apparently the northwest corner of Michigan is Traverse City with the T-Pod guys. Is that T-Pod from Kickstarter?
Could be.
It is. They put a little tea candle in there and generate electricity to charge your iPhone or your phone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or any USB device. Actually, it was designed for a light, so that people in remote areas could have LED reading light.
Very cool.
Awesome. All right. Well, as much as I'd love to hang around for a long after-show chat tonight, I've got an early morning catching a ferry so that we can get over to Duncan, which is on Vancouver Island. So I am going to...
You reserved your spot on the ferry?
Nope. We're going over early on a Friday morning. We shouldn't need to make a reservation.
Cool. Have a fabulous time.
Thank you very much.
Yes, enjoy yourself.
Spending the weekend visiting my daughter at college, so I'm looking forward to the weekend as well.
Awesome.
Boring me, I'm staying home. I
Hey,
need to go
that's good, too.
somewhere just to keep up with you guys.
Well, enjoy your Canadian Thanksgiving this weekend, gentlemen.
Okay.
Well, I am thankful for Canada.
Are we
because
supposed
it
to eat
brought
like
us
a
Land
Canadian
Monkey.
goose?
I'm too tired. I don't know. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, we'll have a Canadian goose.
All right.
How about Canadian Club?
Oh,
Yeah, no.
Good night, Land Monkey.
bacon. Okay, good night. Oh,
Lucky has abandoned us.
Brylang asked what ferry he's taking. I don't know if he knows right now.
He's a little tired.
Yeah.
That's all right. And I'm a little tired.
You know, you should probably go in the house and get out of the garage.
I think I'm going to do that. So, sorry for not much after show, guys, tonight, but sign us off, and we'll talk to you next week.
Good night, everyone. See you next week.
See ya.